The 2026 Lincoln Nautilus. We have some new updates to talk about, and thanks to Car and Driver, they have compiled together the full list of changes and updates for this latest model year. So let's get started. For 2026, the Nautilus gets improved tech features, and we also get a few new color options as well. We have here the newest iteration of the Blue Cruise hands-free driving assist. We have the version 1.5 now, and this can now perform a hands-free lane change to pass slower moving traffic. We also get numerous color options that have been swapped out for new ones. The light space gray exterior color is replacing the light smoke truffle on the premium trim levels. And regarding the interior space, the hot chocolate / medium light space gray interior combo is going to be replacing the previously available light smoke truffle / allura blue option on the reserve trim levels. The jet package, which is like a blackout package, and it also adds in 22-inch wheels, that's now going to be available on all trim levels as an option. Finally, the top trim level black label model, it now gets a new Aurora interior theme, and there's only 3 trim levels to choose from. We have the Premier base model, then we have the Reserve in the middle, and we have the Black Label at the top. Personally, for the best value, I'm going to stick with the Premier model. When these vehicles initially came out for the 2024 model year, I did test out the Reserve with all of the additional packages, so it was nearly fully loaded. And I can quickly cover some of the pros and cons that I noticed with the Nautilus, and I can discuss whether this SUV is worth it or not to you and your family. So 2024, the Nautilus comes out, it actually becomes a really big success for Lincoln. I see these out on the road all the time, and when I was personally testing the Nautilus, it was in that bright red color. Everybody was taking notice to it. There was even one individual who gave me a thumbs up, so that was interesting. Nautilus is available in 2 different powertrain options. You have the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbo with 250 horsepower and 275 pounds-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. All Nautilus vehicles come with the all-wheel drive as standard. I personally tested the hybrid, which makes more power, 285 horsepower, 295 pounds-feet of torque, still utilizes the turbo 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, but now it utilizes the eCVT transmission. Honestly, everything performed fine. In fact, most magazines that were testing the Nautilus, they did achieve a lower 0 to 60 time with the hybrid. And it's true, I was really satisfied with the power output. The drivetrain was really smooth. They did a great job with it from that standpoint. Fuel efficiency on the regular 4-cylinder turbo, it's 21 city, 29 out on the highway. The turbo hybrid, it's estimated to do 30 in the city, 31 out on the highway. So if you primarily do a lot of highway driving, there's not really a big fuel economy benefit in going with the hybrid, because the hybrid does cost $3,000 more than the regular turbo 4-cylinder for all 3 trim levels of the Nautilus. So with that additional cost, it's another reason why I would personally skip the hybrid powertrain. The other big highlight to this vehicle, and something that I really appreciate regarding the Nautilus, is with the interior space and the technology implementation. So we have that insane 48-inch panoramic display. It's really eye-catching, but you know what? It is not a gimmick. I genuinely see the future of car technology moving to a similar setup to what Lincoln has achieved with the Nautilus. Having that big 48-inch display near the windshield, it actually puts all of your digital gauge cluster, infotainment information, like all these things, they're in your line of sight. Other car companies, they'll do the big display, but they put it much closer to you. So you really have to take your eyes off the road to look at the infotainment or whatever. What Lincoln has done, it's brilliant having everything towards the windshield. So I'm actually a big fan of that. What I'm not a big fan of though is the secondary screen. It's like 11 inches and you're supposed to control all of your HVAC with that. Well, we have no real physical buttons or switches for the HVAC. Everything is embedded into that smaller 11-inch display, which it's clear, it's crisp, it's all easy to use. That's not the issue, but I do want to see physical controls for the HVAC, not to mention even the air vents are controlled via the smaller touchscreen. That's so unnecessary. And due to this kind of technology setup, Lincoln has equipped this vehicle with a bit of an obtuse, almost rectangular shaped steering wheel. I personally got used to it, but I can see why some people might not like it. Other than that, the vehicle is extremely spacious, both in the front and with the second row. Really lavish legroom, good headroom, the trunk space isn't bad. It's a good package overall, especially for its size. It's around 193 inches long total. Seats are extremely comfortable. In fact, the Reserve model that I tested came with the massaging seats. Truly one of the most excellent massage systems that I have tested in just about any vehicle. Lincoln did a great job with this. So if you do a lot of miles, especially highway miles, you're gonna appreciate this Nautilus. It is quiet, it is comfortable. If you want to spend more with this product and get those massaging seats, you are gonna appreciate that on longer trips. The stability out on the highway is also good. However, the kind of biggest con that I've noticed with the Nautilus, it's going to be its handling. You can tell that the suspension, it's definitely a deficiency with this vehicle. Sure, it rides decently, but whenever you take your everyday left-hand, right-hand turns, you don't even have to be turning aggressively. You notice the curb weight just shifting around with the vehicle. Your occupants notice it. So that weight transfer, you really feel it in the corners. That gets a bit old. When you go with the non-hybrid Nautilus, you do shave a couple £100 off the curb weight. I don't think it's a lot, maybe 200 pounds at the most, but regardless though, every little bit can help, I suppose. And that's another reason why I would personally recommend the Premier non-hybrid Nautilus if this is truly the vehicle that you have your mind and heart set on. And I would recommend getting that Premier 2 package for an additional $5,000. Adds in the upgraded 14-speaker Revel audio system. I tested the 28-speaker Revel audio. It sounded really good, but again, I'm not going to pay up for the top-of-the-line Reserve or the Black Label. It's just too much money at that point, so I would just deal with the 14-speaker Revel audio, and you're also going to get the heated front and rear seats, along with the ventilated front seats, hands-free power liftgate. So, you know, that $5,000 Premier 2 package, I think it is worth it. So the model that I spec'd out, it ended up being $63,015. That's about what a well-equipped Lexus RX 350 is going to be going for. That's one of the most beloved luxury SUVs in the class. You know, once you get top of the line black labels and everything, you're at $80,000. So you're well into BMW X5, Mercedes GLE territory. So I mean, it's an interesting vehicle. I appreciate certain aspects of it, but competition is pretty fierce now. But you know what? Some people, they just do not care about competition or anything like that. They don't care about the price. I've noticed that, you know, over the years of doing car reviews, people don't really care about my personal opinion or my take on vehicles. They are simply going to go get the vehicle that they want, whatever they see, whatever they like, they will buy it. They don't care about sales, discounts, interest rates, whatever they get approved for. If it's a vehicle that they personally like and they deem is something that they want to go out and purchase, they will simply go out and do that. Especially if you live in a bigger city like I do. I mean, you look outside, any new car drops, you immediately see it out on the road. Nobody cares about getting a deal or getting the best price. You see the new car immediately out on the road. Regardless, for those who do care about saving money, getting a good deal, seeing what makes up a good deal, then linked below in the description box of this video, I'm going to have a free leasing calculator provided to you by AutoCompanion. This is an extremely powerful free resource that you can use to see the interest rate of a lease, the residual values, and the incentives that you can get in your local zip code. So whether you are financing, paying cash, or leasing, you should use this free calculator because you're going to want to see what incentives you can qualify for. And this calculator is so robust and has so many features. It even shows you incentives that you may or may not qualify for that even the Lincoln website or the car manufacturer website does not even show. So definitely check this out. All you have to do is create a free account with your email on AutoCompanion's website and you will have access to this calculator forever. So just for fun, I just ran numbers on a 2025 Nautilus Premier and I used the same MSRP as the 2026 that I built because really the price has not really changed compared to 2025. It's gone up marginally for the Premier and for the Reserve. The Black Label, the price remains the same. So we can quickly go over this. $53,995. That's what the Premier starts at. Reserve, $63,595. And the Black Label, $77,130. And if you want the hybrid, add $3,000 to the prices I just listed, and the destination fee, that's going to be extra as well. Anyway, back to the calculator. I assumed a 10% discount off of the MSRP. Can you get that? I mean, it really depends on where you live. Some dealerships I've noticed on Car Gurus, they are genuinely offering close to 10% off the MSRP. Like I found a dealership out in Dallas, Texas. they are offering kind of deep discounts. Okay, there's about 7,000 Lincoln Nautiluses, new ones, available for sale throughout the country. If you're running lease numbers, you can only run those numbers on the 2025, not the 2024 or 2026. Keep that in mind as of the recording of this video. And some of these Nautilus vehicles, 2025s, they've been on the lot for over 300 days. So nearly a year. And those are the vehicles you want to target. Those are the vehicles that a dealership will typically work with you on to get a higher discount on. So I just assumed 10% off, entered in the zip code. Apparently the 2-year lease has the lowest interest rate. So this is information that you will not be able to see otherwise. You got the residual, you got the interest rate. It's about 1.78% as of October 2025. Interest rates, lease programs, incentives, all of these things, they change and update every month, but AutoCompanion's free calculator will also update every month with the latest programs. You can look through and you can see which incentives you can qualify for. I didn't choose any, but with a no money down lease, you're looking at $877 per month on a $63,000 Premier Nautilus. I mean, if that was for like the black label, I can kind of see it, but on a Premier, that's a really high payment. Yeah, I went with the 2-year lease. The 3-year is a bit cheaper. It's still over $800 a month, but the interest rate goes up to 2.69%. So that's another reason why I did not select the 3-year lease. I stuck with the 2-year. And now that you can see the interest rate and the true mechanics behind leasing with this calculator, you no longer have to say that leasing is fleecing. Now you understand that you're not just renting the vehicle, you are actually building equity with the lease, with most leases. So whenever a manufacturer offers a low interest rate lease like this, I would take that, even though the payments are higher, because you do have that set residual value, which you do not get with financing or when you're paying cash, meaning you're not stuck with a vehicle that's just tanking in value. You have that set residual value after 2 years. If the vehicle has crashed in value, not your problem. You can just turn the keys back in. But also at the end of 2 years, if you end up loving the vehicle, you can just pay cash for the remaining balance or finance the remaining balance, and you can just own the vehicle outright. So you have a lot more flexibility with leasing. I believe as of right now, Lincoln is offering 0% financing for 48 months. That's not bad. That's worth considering if you absolutely love this vehicle, but I think I would still choose the 2-year lease, honestly. That way you can do a 2-year, basically a test drive of the vehicle, see if you truly like it or not. These types of vehicles, they tend to crash in value. So just to play it safe, I would still do that 2-year lease. Obviously, not every lease is worth considering. Some manufacturers, they have like 8% interest rate for their lease. At that point, yeah, leasing does become fleecing. You're not making any equity in the vehicle. There's no real flexibility. I wouldn't even consider that. So if you're gonna ask me what vehicle would I personally consider, I mean, that's a complex question. It depends on really what vehicle is being offered at a good deal at that particular time. I mean, if you're paying nearly $900 a month, I would rather look into something like a GLE Benz or even an X5 BMW for like $900 to $1,000 a month, or even consider leasing a Lexus RX 350 for less money per month. That's what I would personally look into. You can do as you please. I just want to share with you this free resource. If you found value with this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.